You like anime? Due to YouTube circumstances, all our anime reactions are over at the Goosh, which is our Patreon. Over 3,000 of them. Link is in the description. A partial list is in the comment section. Bring your balls.
Okay, we all know that YouTube has problems. Lots and lots of problems. But many of you are, I'm sure, already aware of the video CoreyxKenshin made the other day, and I'm going to link his video in the description of this video. And he brought up some issues he had been having with the way he had been treating and how YouTube was showing a favoritism, and he wondered aloud if it has something to do with race. Now, this video caught my attention because, again, I think Corey makes some really good points, and I think he really was treated very unfairly. But what he described happening is almost exactly the same things that have happened to me. And I'll explain it to you guys, the exact same experiences I've had recently with YouTube. Now, when I brought this up in conversation, I was talking with some of the gang here in our community. I hadn't thought of this, but their immediate reaction was, so are you saying Corey's wrong and it's not racism? But no, I'm saying just the opposite. It's very likely that it could be. And I know that's confusing on the surface because people are like, but Curtis, you're so white, you're almost transparent. That is true. But what I'm saying is there's definitely something going on in YouTube that allows people within the system to go after certain people for whatever reason they so desire. Could it be the color of someone's skin? Absolutely. In my case, could it be because I'm old? I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Could it be because I have a very twisted sense of humor? I would say that's even more likely. Quite possibly that somebody at YouTube saw one of my videos and did not appreciate the sense of humor, the jokes that were told. So I think by saying that the exact same thing happened to me, I'm hopefully backing up Corey's assessment. Could very well be that somebody just didn't like the color of his skin, and that's why he's having those issues. Now, let me give you a quick rundown of what happened to me so you can hear it, understand it as comparison to the same things that went on with Corey. Many of you know I've got not only a permanent warning on the channel, but also a community guideline strike. The only thing I can say that's a big difference between Corey and I would love it if all YouTube would do is just demonetize me when they see something they find objectionable. They go right to the heart of it. They start taking the steps to get rid of me. Now, the initial community guidelines strike I got, which was actually the permanent warning, it came on a Try Not to Laugh video that was a reaction to Addict the One, in his compilations. As I fought it back and forth, finally, through Twitter, the only way I was able to get any type of answer, I pinned them down enough, they would tell me what clip it was in that video that got me this permanent lifetime warning. It was a short clip of some dude, he was in a room in a hammock swinging back and forth. Somebody opened the door, and as they opened the door, he came forward and whacked his balls right into the open door. And then at the end of the video, they inserted some eggs cracking to give it the funny effect of, huevos rancheros. His huevos had been cracked. That video, those reactions to that video were all over YouTube. All over YouTube, not even age restricted, including that scene. I went back and checked just as Corey did. That scene was all over the place. At the time, the original video was still up. It's only not up because the creator himself, Addict the One, decided to take down those videos. He's going a different direction with the things he's doing now. But there are still reactions to that video all over, including that clip. But I have a permanent warning on my channel to set the groundwork so they can take further action, obviously is the case, over that. The best part about it is the community guidelines that I supposedly broke, or the rules that, the line that I crossed, was encouraging people to do harmful stunts. You can't even tell from that clip if it was a stunt. I mean, obviously somebody went in there with a camera to see this kid. They could have been going in there just to take video of him, like families do all the time, of him doing something goofy in his freaking, in his hammock. It's very possible. And the hitting his balls, on the door was just, for them, a happy accident. But that said, so my point would be, even if it was a setup, even if it was a prank, why then is not every single prank video where somebody gets hit in the balls, why are they not hit with the community guidelines? Right? How is that different? How is this strike to the nuts different than the other 230,000 or maybe a million other hits to the nuts in the framework of pranking someone? They aren't struck because somebody somewhere along the line at YouTube doesn't like me. I could tell that because that was the second time I'd gotten the community guidelines within the span of a month. The first one was the same thing. The video, there were reactions to it everywhere. That time when I appealed it, they had this, the appeal came back, no, it stands, but then I went to Twitter, talked to someone there, and they overturned it. So it only took them a few weeks to find another one, and this time they were able to convince everybody involved to let it stand. So I understand completely where Corey's coming from. So what exactly is going on? All we can do is draw our own conclusions from the clues we can get, because YouTube has no transparency about anything. They will not tell you how they go about things. What I believe is happening, I believe this wholeheartedly. I would love to be wrong. I'd love it if YouTube would show us that I'm wrong and there's something more innocent at play. The higher ups at YouTube, Susan Wojcicki is not sitting in her office saying, go get that fat bald guy, then go get that black guy. What's happening is they're giving these moderators something of a free rein. The people that moderate on their behalf are out there, and it's a Wild West. If they just decide they don't like you, again, could be the color of your skin, could be your political views, could be your sense of humor. If they decide they don't like you, they can destroy your YouTube channel, and in many cases, destroy your livelihood. And I think there's a total, complete disconnect. I don't think that Susan Wojcicki is aware of this necessarily going on. Possibly she is, but I don't think they care. YouTube has never, since Google bought YouTube, there's a reason that it's not broadcast yourself anymore. I'm convinced, and you can, this is again by the clues that are in place, Google never wanted us to be creators like this, like me, sitting in a room in my house making videos, trying to make people laugh, having fun with the community. That's not what they wanted. They bought this thinking they were going to turn it into a quasi or even legitimate TV network, basically. That never panned out because all of us YouTube users, wanted nothing to do with their slick productions. So instead, they've linked the YouTube name to YouTube TV, their streaming service, which means Google will hold on to it forever. Oh, yay, good for us. But see, the thing is, when something like this happens to you, the system just doesn't work. First of all, I don't believe when you put in an appeal, it's supposed to be seen by a real human being, because it can be the system itself, the AI that initially gives you the community guideline strike or whatever. That may happen. If it does, it doesn't go to people that have any interest in really looking into it. I have my doubts about whether a real person actually sees it or not. And if they do, I think they're assigned the work. And I'm sure, person A working for YouTube as a moderator, probably working from home and taking care of their kids and the dog at the same time, and getting paid for 8 hours and working 3, whatever the case may be, goes through their list of videos that have, or of appeals, and they go through and they're like, yeah, no, okay, I'm done for today, come on, let's go to the park. That's very possible happen. YouTube themselves has said that a lot of their people are working from home because that's been one of the many excuses they've used as to why they're so inefficient, because COVID created an upheaval in their workplace and people were working from home. I don't see why that would create so much upheaval. If, you can work at home doing a job like that as easily as you can in the office, but that's neither here nor there. But as long as YouTube decides to keep us all in the dark, or remains keeping us all in the dark, all we can do is try and figure this stuff out on our own. And from the clues I've seen, I think I'm pretty much on. But here's the thing, when it comes to community guidelines and things like that, before you give someone a strike, it should be told. It should be policy to the people working the front lines to err on the side of the creator. Because really, what is the harm? Let's use my case, or even Corey's. The clip that he showed of that gameplay. In either case, is there any real harm going on there? Did anyone get so traumatized by watching Corey's clip within that video game that it needed to be kept from the children? That somebody was really... Come on. Same thing with mine. Do you really think anybody went, oh, that's funny. Let's see if we can get a hammock and let's see, the door opens this way. No, but and even if somebody did, if somebody took that as an impetus to do something stupid like that, they were going to do something stupid anyway. Come on, it's just ridiculous. They should err on the side of the creator. If it's borderline, all right, just say, okay, let's let it go. But they don't. Or better yet, if it's borderline, as in my case, it clearly was borderline, how about an age restriction instead of a strike? Is that asking too much? It is asking too much, because I asked about that. And the one thing in each of these instances, 3 instances of them giving me a community guidelines for stuff that's all over the internet and is fine for other channels, I asked over and over and over in my communications with YouTube, both through the YouTube app and through Twitter. I said, can somebody just please explain to me why it's okay for others to have this content, but not for me? That's all I want to know, because I've given you links. I've shown you where it's out there everywhere. Why is it okay there and not for me? And they just refuse to answer, because there is no answer. And they refuse to answer. And YouTube thinks that we believe in any way, shape, or form that they aren't singling people out when you won't even answer a question as simple as that and as obvious as that. Why me and not others? Just like Corey asked, why me and not others? And then they got pushed into a corner by Corey because it caught on. And, Corey's a big YouTuber. And fortunately, you have other people that joined in with him, big names like Jacksepticeye and Charlie, who also made videos on the topic. YouTube got cornered and then just put the, he'll tell you in his video, put the age restriction back on his video and also age restricted marks. It was so transparent and so stupid that that's exactly what happened. Somebody in the YouTube system doesn't like Corey. Now, you guys can decide for yourselves why you think that is. Same way somebody or some buddies in YouTube system doesn't like me. You guys can decide why you think that is. Is there something that could be done about this? Sure, but YouTube wouldn't do it. Hell, I'd volunteer for this job myself. Why not have just even a single rep, a YouTuber, okay, who is willing to go the extra mile, talk to other YouTubers? Hell, I would create a website, a place where people can put in complaints and tell me what's going on with YouTube. And I would be willing to take the time out of my day to go through and see ones that are just people complaining with no real basis. I used to be a union rep. That happens a lot. With no real basis, they're just complaining because they didn't get their way, as opposed to real issues. And hey, once a week, give us somebody high-ranking at YouTube that we can have a 1-hour conversation with. 1 hour out of the day of one actual executive, one actual rep at YouTube. You could clear up so many things. You could bring questions, and it wouldn't be a gotcha situation. It wouldn't be me or whoever that rep is going to YouTube and trying to get them, and say, we cornered them this time. No, real legitimate conversation saying, well, this is what is broken. As far as we are concerned, is there something can be done about this? This is how this operates, and we're not sure why. Can you tell us why this is? I know that my videos and my live streams don't get the notifications don't get sent out to everybody who signed up for them. Can you tell us what's going on with that? No gotchas, but you'd be surprised how much goodwill that could create throughout the community. The problem is, does YouTube care about goodwill throughout the community and with their creators? Again, what do you think? In wrapping this up, let me tell you, I take no delight in this at all, in YouTube being in the state that it's in. I love being on YouTube, mainly because of this community I have here. I love our community. I love our community here. YouTube has generated the community we have over at the Goosh, our Patreon. I love that community. I mean, it's every day of my life. I spend more time with you guys than I do my family. It's the actual YouTubing is a blast for me. I love making these videos. I love having laughs. I love having people in the comments say, oh man, this was fun. This was funny. This gave me a lift. I was having a crappy day. This really gave me a lift. I'm feeling better. I love that stuff. Live for that stuff now. So I take no delight at all in YouTube going downhill like this. The thing of it is, there are solutions. If we could get above the level of the moderators who are making these decisions and just go to upper management. Again, once a week, let us bring a list of questions and then bring that back, make a video and share it with everybody who wants to know what was said. Isn't that a simple thing? Will it happen? Yeah, probably not. Will I continue on YouTube? Absolutely, because I love YouTubing, and I love this community that we have here. I just wish things could turn upwards a little bit as far as the YouTube creator relationships.